guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm very excited about. So this is a video I have been thinking about doing for a while, but I've just never really, I haven't really figured out how I wanted to present the information. So I've kind of put it off a little bit, but today we're gonna be talking all about one brand. We're gonna be talking about Benefit today. Working at Sephora, I have played with most of the products from the brand at one point or the other, whether I used it on a client or I've owned it personally. Benefit was a brand that gave us a ton of gratis as employees. Anytime they launched a new product, they would give it to us in gratis, and then they'd often give us their best-selling products as well. So we got a lot of gratis from the particular brand. So I've tried a lot of their products personally in my own collection, but I've also used a lot of clients. I've had a lot of experience with color matching with their foundations and things like that. So when I worked at Sephora, you guys know I don't work there anymore, but when I worked at Sephora, a lot of times as employees, when there was downtime, of course we'd be like cleaning and doing things like that, but we would chat while we cleaned if there were no clients in the store. And a lot of times we'd talk about particular brands and just like our overall thoughts on the brands. What products from the brand did we love? What products did we really not like? And just our overall thoughts on the brand. So that's kind of what we're gonna be talking about today. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna just kind of briefly do an overview of the brand, what I think is good, what I don't like, all of that. So if you guys want to see that, keep on watching. But real quick before we get into it, if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me, and I just welcome to my channel. If you wanted to see more content like this, make sure to click that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on content like this in the future. I am planning to do a series of this. So we're gonna go through all of the brands that my particular Sephora carried, because I feel like I have had enough experience with those brands and those products that I could give you, you know, a little bit of insider knowledge. Now, also keep in mind, this is my personal opinions, just my experience from working with these products and all of that. So you might have a difference in opinion, and that's okay. Everybody does. So that's why you come to my channel, to see my opinion, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So first things first, I want to start with the positives. There are some products from Benefit that I actually do really enjoy a lot. One of them happens to be my absolute favorite, and that is the Rockateur blush. This particular blush, now I do like the formula of their boxed blushes, but the color of this blush I think is what makes it a standout product. It's just a beautiful blush, very like rosy neutral tone. I feel like the nice thing about this blush is it looks good on every skin tone. It has a very neutral look to it, so you can wear it with any eyeshadow look, any lip combination. It's just going to look good. So it's one of those no-brainer blushes that if you're not sure, if you're finished your whole makeup look and you're like, I don't know what blush to use, this is one of those blushes you can pull out and you know it's gonna be good. So that is why I love it. Now there is one downside to these box blushes, and that is their packaging. Their packaging is so gosh darn bulky. I don't like how bulky it is. It does not play well with the other products in my blush drawer. It takes up so much space. I don't like that about these products, but the formula is good. So I wish Benefit, if you watch this video by some long shot, if Benefit is watching this video, please do something about these packaging. Nobody likes the big boxy, bulky packaging. Now, I do also own the Hula bronzer from Benefit. Again, it's one of their boxed formulas. I do like this bronzer a lot. I think this bronzer is great if you have a light to medium skin tone. It's probably not gonna show up on anything more than like a medium skin tone. I did get this one in gratis, by the way, so I did not pay for this one, but this is the second one I've owned. I went through one whole bronzer I went through a whole one of these. That's hard to do. So, and then I did get it in gratis. I wasn't planning to repurchase it because I had so much bronzer, but I was really glad when we got it in gratis because it is one of my favorite bronzers. It does have a more cool undertone, so you can definitely use this bronzer as a contour as well, and I do that very often with this bronzer. I just think it is a really good product. So definitely their boxed blushes, I think you should definitely check these out. Rockateur in particular is one of my favorites, but I think the formula of the box blushes in general is very nice. All right, some other products that I really like from Benefit. I actually do really like their roller lash. It's not my favorite though. It's probably somewhere around like number 8 or 9 as far as my favorites go. It's good. It is a good mascara, but it's not like like I said, it's not my top 5. I hate their, as long as we're talking about this, I know I'm jumping ahead because I'm going to talk about their bad products later. I really dislike their Real Mascara, but I know that that is not a popular opinion. I know a lot of people love it. It was one of our top 2 selling mascaras. And so yeah, I know some people love it. It's just, in my opinion, I don't like it. I feel like it's too, well, I don't like those very synthetic brushes to begin with, but I feel like that one just does not give me any volume. So I don't know. Anyway, but this is a good one. Oh, and the roller lash, let me go back to that. I've jumped ahead. The roller lash definitely does give you lift and curl and separation, but not as much volume. And that's why it's not one of my absolute favorites, because I need volume in my very wimpy lashes, and this doesn't quite give me the volume I want. So usually when I use this, I layer it with another mascara, but it does define and separate and lift and curl. So usually if I'm using something like the Better Than Sex that it just gives you a ton of volume but nothing else, if you pair the two together, you get a really good effect. So, all right, one other product that I got in gratis that I actually do really like from Benefit, and that is their Air Patrol Primer. This is a really good primer if you have discoloration on your lid. It does, oh, mine leaked a little bit, it was in my drawer. It does have a bit of a yellow tint to it, so it's going to offset, I don't know if you can see it, but it does offset any discoloration. So I do have very dark blue veins on my eyelid, and I have to use a tinted primer or concealer before I go in with my eyeshadow, and this does a really good job. So I definitely recommend checking that out as well if you're looking for something like that. Those are my favorite products from Benefit. That's not very much, I realize that. It's really not a lot of products, but now that we've talked about my favorite products from the brand, let's talk about my least favorite products from the brand, and then we're gonna get into everything that kind of falls in the middle and my overall thoughts. So the least favorite products for me from the brand are definitely these guys. I don't have them anymore. I did receive it in gratis and I gave it away because I hated it. These are eyeshadow trios, but they come in this weird little strip. You guys, the strip is like this big. It's tiny, tiny, tiny. Even if you took your smallest detailed eyeshadow brushes, I don't think you could get into each individual shade. So they're just gonna automatically swirl together. It just doesn't make sense. This product doesn't make sense. It is very gimmicky and just very poorly thought out in my opinion. You do get this like weird little sponge thing that you're supposed to slide along the product and then swipe it on your eye, and it's supposed to give you a 3-tiered look with your eyeshadow. Or the 2-tier. It might be 2. Either way, it does not work that way. It is just really kind of ridiculous. They don't have very good pigmentation, so they barely show up at all. They just barely show up at all on your eye, and they definitely don't show up the way they're supposed to with like the lighter one on your lid and then the darker one in your crease. And even if it did show up, even if they were pigmented enough for that to actually translate onto your eye, nobody's eye is shaped, I mean, it would be impossible to move a sponge just right to get the lightest shade right where you want it and the darker shade right where you want it, you know? I mean, you need to be able to blend. There's just so much more that goes into an eyeshadow look than just taking a sponge and swiping it across your eye. That does not work. And especially with the formula of these eyeshadows, they just don't show up. There is no pigment here at all, you guys. So even when I got this, I tried it with brushes and it still doesn't work. There's just really crappy quality, and honestly, way overpriced. I think there are drugstore eyeshadows that perform way better than these eyeshadows. So I didn't get it, Benefit. I really didn't get it. I think it's a really crappy product, and I hope they get rid of them very quickly. Also, along with that, they also came out with their real lipsticks, and same thing, is so gimmicky. The way that the lipstick is shaped, this is also something we received in gratis and I immediately got rid of as well. The lipstick itself has a teardrop shape on it, and the very top of the tier is a darker color, and then the bottom part is a lighter color. And again, their idea is that you're supposed to be able to apply it just right so it gives you a very precise outline on your lips and an ombre effect with your lipstick. That's not how it works. It doesn't work right. So I don't know, like I just didn't get these. As soon as we saw these in store, all the employees, we were all like, what the heck is Benefit doing? This is so gimmicky. It does not work right. And the formula of the lipsticks, just like the eyeshadows, it's not a good formula anyways. It's just very basic. It's just like a creamy kind of formula. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with these products. I think they're horrible. I think they're very much overpriced and way too gimmicky. Okay, another product that I very much dislike from their brand, and that is their foundation. Now, the problem that I have with their foundation, again, I don't own it, but I have used it a lot on clients. I never personally purchased it because they don't have a shade for me. And that was my biggest problem with this foundation. The foundation itself, I feel like, let me look. I wanna look because I wanna get this right. They don't have a lot of shades in their line, but I wanna give you the exact number. I wanna say 7. Let's see if I'm correct. It's the Hello Flawless Foundation. There are a total of 8 shades in this collection. 8 shades. Think about that, you guys. So, for example, you guys all know Fenty, when she launched, she had 40 shades in her collection. Makeup Forever has, I think, 45. Even MAC does a really good job with shade selection. But even other brands like Kat Von D and Urban Decay, they might not have 40 shades, but they have at least, oh, I want to say 20, 25 shades. 8 shades. You cannot cover a proper spectrum with 8 shades. Now, maybe if it was like supposed to be a universal product, like a BB cream or something, 8 shades would be great because you can kind of blend it out. But these are foundations. Liquid foundations. There is no way that 8 shades is enough to cater to everybody's skin tone. The problem with their collection of shades is that it's right in the middle. It's really good if you have a medium skin tone. If you have a medium skin tone, you're gonna find a shade. I couldn't find a shade for my skin tone. Everything leans extremely yellow. If I had a client come in with a golden medium skin tone, that would be the only time I would even consider looking for a match in this foundation because it's very yellow and it's like right there in the middle. They don't have anything for very deep skin tones and they don't have anything for fair skin tones. And then like I said, I'm not even a very fair skin tone. I'm more in the light range, but the lightest shade is very orange on me. So, and I have a neutral undertone, not even a cool undertone. So they just don't cater to enough skin tones. And I think that that's a problem. I think that's a big problem. Not everybody has Kim Kardashian's skin tone. So I think that they need to come out with more shades and that would be I think that would be a big thing for Benefit. They really, really need to do that. Now, my other problem with the foundation, it's just not that great of a foundation to begin with. It's like medium coverage. It's not too long wearing. It's an okay foundation, but to not even cater to, 8 shades. Okay, one more thing that we have to talk about, as long as we're talking about gimmicky, when I hear the word makeup and gimmicky, I think of Benefit. Is that just me? I feel like they went down this road of being very cutesy, gimmicky, repackaging things that they already had, and this here is one of the things. This is the Benefit, or this is their Foolproof Brow Powder, and the actual powder comes in the shape of an eyebrow. It's not a bad powder, there's nothing wrong with the powder, but it almost looks like it's a stamp. So in fact, to the point where I'd have clients coming in and they're like, oh, I wanna get that looks easy, I just stamp it and put it on my eyebrow, and I'm like, no, it's an actual powder that you need a brush and you need to apply it. It's just shaped like a brow. Oh yes, there is one more product. Oh my gosh, I hate this product. I hate this product. This is the Benefit They're Real Push-Up Liner. So when I first started getting into more high-end makeup, this was probably about 5 years ago. I used to be a very big drugstore girl, and I first started getting into high-end makeup. I saw all these reviews on YouTube about this push-up liner, and I was like, wow, that looks amazing. So I went and bought it, and you guys, I could not have felt like more of a makeup idiot when I was trying to use that. I would try to apply it and it would literally like peel off, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I would spend like an hour in the mirror trying to figure out how to use this stupid thing. And eventually I ended up throwing it away because I was like, this is impossible to use. It is the worst packaging and liner. Like, it just is horrible. So the problem with it, it's like a clay liner that you click up, and then it has this rubber flexible tip applicator. So you're supposed to use it to do they say it's to do an easy winged liner. There's nothing easy about it. So as you're applying it, because it's clay and you're using like a rubber, it's not sticking right. Where if you were to use an actual brush, like with the clay liner from a potted clay liner, it goes on a lot easier with a brush. Imagine using like something rubber to apply that. It doesn't work. It doesn't stick to your eye, so then it ends up peeling up, and if you try to go over it, forget about it. If you try to go over the line to straighten it out, you're gonna lose all your liner. It's just gonna take it right off. So I just felt like that was an awful, awful design, and I couldn't believe so many people loved it. I feel like some people still like it, but I think for the most part, people are like, no, this is not a good liner. But when it first came out, people were like, this is so great. So I went and bought it, and it was horrible. So that's it for products from their collection that I love and products that I hate. Pretty much everything else in their collection I feel like falls right in the middle. Now, I'm going to talk about the things that I think are good about this brand first, and then we'll get into the things that I don't like about Benefit. The first thing that I think is really, really good about Benefit is they just came out with their whole brow line, and I feel like that was very smart of them, because I felt like before that their brand really didn't have any standout products. There was nothing that really drew me over to that side of the store to show clients. Now that they have all of their brow products, and they have a brow product for every need. They have pencils, they have powders, they have pomades, they have brow highlighters, they have everything. So if you want a brow product, they have it. So it was finally another brand that could compete with Anastasia. Previous to that, when clients came in looking for a brow product, I would just take them to Anastasia, because Anastasia had everything. But then once Benefit came out with theirs, it was like you could look at either brand and you're gonna find something to work for you. So I think that was very smart of them. I liked that they did that. I also do like the fact that they're constantly coming out with little kits and holiday sets and things to try out their products. I like it and I don't like it. And I'm gonna get into why I don't like it in a minute, but I like it because it is a good way to get people to recognize your brand, and to try new things and find things that become loves later on when you're trying a mini. It's a smaller investment, so you're more likely to try it, and then if you fall in love with it, you're gonna go back and buy the full size. So I think that is smart, a Benefit to do that. And then again, as I mentioned, I do like certain products from their line. Now we're gonna get into what I don't like. So let's start with the thing I don't like about their constant doing little sets and trial things. So I think it's smart, but I think they overdo it. I feel like Benefit relies on those little sets to replace coming up with new products, because they're always just repackaging the same products and putting them in little gift sets and doing things like that instead of coming up with new ideas. So I'd really like to see some new products from Benefit. I'd like to see them expand their shade range for their foundation and their foundation powder, because like I said, there's just not enough shade selection there. So I feel like if they expanded that, maybe even came up with a new formula, a new foundation, I think that would be really smart. And then I feel like they need some new products. I definitely feel like they are really missing the boat with their lip products and their eyeshadow products, because as of right now, they just have those They're Real ones that are very, very gimmicky. The whole ombre thing that doesn't work, as I already talked about. So I feel like they just need to scrap those products and come up with something new. Eyeshadow is the biggest seller, especially eyeshadow palettes. That's what we sell at Sephora when I worked there. So nobody goes to look at their brand because they don't have something to draw people over there. Other than their new brow products, which I think, again, I thought that was a very smart move of them to be able to do that. But I feel like they need to start coming up with some eyeshadow, and they need they need to have their own eyeshadow formula, one that is good, not one like what they have in those little They're Real sets. Those are horrible. I feel like they just need to go back to the drawing board and start over with a new formula and come up with something new. I also think that they need some lip products. I mean, those little They're Real lipsticks, again, I feel like it was a big fail. I feel like they just need to get rid of those and start over, come up with something different, something that they can be competitive with the other brands that we carry at Sephora, because I feel like nobody goes over to that little corner, and there's a reason, because there's just really nothing to draw you over there. So I think that they're really missing the boat with those particular categories of makeup. I think they're relying too heavily on their bestsellers. So, you know, Everybody knows the Professional, which I think is an okay product. I didn't mention it in loves or hates because I think it's kind of right in the middle. I feel like they rely on their Professional. I feel like they rely on their Real mascara, which was very popular. Again, I'm not really a fan of that mascara. And then they're like relying on their Hoola bronzer, and it's just like, come up with something different, you know? Be creative, bring out some new products. I feel like their packaging for the most part is cute, and I like that they have their own identity as a brand, you know? They have an identity, very cutesy, very young, but I feel like that what they're missing is on their product development is what's really missing. You can't just keep repackaging the same products over and over again in smaller, cuter little travel size and hope that that's gonna carry you on. So I feel like that's where Benefit really could grow. Oh, and then this might be a little controversial, but the other thing that I really had a problem with was most recently their collaboration with some YouTubers. Now, I myself am a YouTuber, and I would be so over the moon grateful for any opportunities like that. And I support YouTubers who do collaborate with brands, and I purchased quite a few of the YouTuber collaborations from different brands. My issue with the collaboration that they did most recently with Manny MUA, who else was in it? It was Manny MUA, I think it was it Laura in there? I can't remember. Jeffree Star, I can't remember all of them, but there were 4 YouTubers that they collabed with. But what they did is took their same products. They didn't create any new products. In fact, like they took the Benefit Hoola bronzer in the exact same packaging as this. They didn't even repackage this, but put it in an outer box with Manny's face on it. So when you took it out of its outer box, you basically got the exact same bronzer. How is that a collaboration? Do you guys find that strange? Same thing that with their Real mascara. There was all of their top selling products that they did it with. And I'm just like, you know, at least if you're going to go through all the effort of hiring these YouTubers to work with you, come up with a new product. Or put their face on the actual box that people are keeping, because you take the outer box and you throw that in the garbage, and then you're getting the same bronzer that you could get any time of the year. So I don't know. I feel like Benefit just really needs to step up their game, come up with some new stuff, come up with some new ideas, expand your shade selection. So that is my thoughts on Benefit. My overall thoughts are definitely that was a brand that I rarely took clients to. The one thing that I would mostly show clients on that side of the store was the Rockateur blush, because it's my favorite, and that was about it. Everything else kind of just, I forgot that brand was over there. It was kind of on the outside of our store too, where it was located in my particular store. You could kind of forget about it. And that just was the way that it was, because there wasn't really any big draws over there. So that is my overall thoughts on Benefit. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. What are your favorite products from Benefit? What do you think of the brand? Or what suggestions would you have for the brand? So leave all those comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because I am thinking about continuing this on as a series and talking about other brands that we carried at my particular store. So if you want to see that, let me know. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.